Alright, everything seems to be looking and running in order. Let's go back here. Close that out. Oh, but I kind of do need the other tab open. Give me a sec. I mean, I guess I can switch between them. It's not too much of trouble. Hold on, let's see. Can I do it halfsies? Hold on. Be a good sport. Nope. Oh, wait. There you go. I'm so good at this sometimes. Sure. Well, I kind of messed that up a little bit, but it's fine. Okie dokie. Let's see. Yeah, it seems to be in order. Oh, don't sit down, dude. We got work to do. Alrighty. Hello everyone. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another one. It has been a minute since I've done any stream, but this is gonna sound insane, but you know, a big fan of Digimon. I've been playing this game, Digimon Masters Online, on and off for years. I think I started playing a little after it originally came out, whatever the case was. Stopped playing it for a long time. I've made a few streams, I think, a while back. I think I was still doing the main storyline at that point, but again, I digress. The point is right now is there's another jump event where you can get a SSS plus for logging in, I think, 15 days and doing the daily quests and stuff. So you have your selection of quite a few, and I mean, some of the strongest SSS pluses out there in the jumping event. You know, you can get Omegamon X, Alphamon or Ryukin Awaken. You can get Susanomon Shin, I'm trying to do vaccines first, War Greymon Awaken, Impelodramon Fighter Mode Awaken, and I think that's going to be it for the vaccines. Then for the virus, you can get Darkness Bagramon, which consists of 3 Digimon. That's something to take note of. You can get Luisamon Satan Mode Awaken, and you can get Seed Millenniumon and X-Rose Up Mervomon? Yeah, as part of the SSS Plus lineup. For data that you can get from this, you can get Shoutmon X7 and Metal Garurumon Awaken as well. And then the one pleasant guy we get whose unknown type would be Ordiniumon Awaken in terms of the SSS pluses. So that's, you know, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You get 12 options, which is pretty cool for SSS pluses. So that's pretty sweet. I mean, I think in terms of usability for the most part, virus-wise, you know, you got Darkness Bagramon, you got Lusamon, Z, and Mervomon. So those are the 4 options they give you for the SSS lineup. Now, I have 3 of those. I don't have Mervomon. I had to get, I think I'm missing the second item to evolve them, but I do have the 2 Digimon required to do it. What I've been curious about is damage output for these guys. So I have, obviously with me right now, I have Seed Millenniumon right here. So the reason they're all 127 is because I think my highest level virus guy at the time, which was, I will include the SSS Digimon in this, 2 of them, specifically Galliumon as you see here, and Belzomon, who's also SSS but has very high output damage potential just because of the cooldown speeds, and I have him as well. So I'm gonna test all of these, well, the 4 guys I have, which is Galliumon from the SSS, Belzomon from the SSS, and then I have Bagramon for the SSS Plus. I have Z Millenniumon for the SSS Plus. I also have Lusamon, but the problem with Lusamon, is that Lucemon is max cloned and is at level 140. And I didn't feel like raising everyone to 140, for a level comparison kind of thing. So Lucemon's kind of going to be out of this. But I did use Lucemon for a base in terms of timing and damage, because I looked at all their third skills on the Digimon wiki page, and I think from all these, Lucemon has the highest cooldown time for the third move, which is at 5 minutes. Between the virus ones, specifically the ones I mentioned, has 5 minutes. What is good is that it has an AoE. I think it's one of the highest AoE damage moves in the game. So that's sweet. But I kind of use that 5-minute benchmark as like, okay, this is the maximum damage, or like the strongest move Lucemon has, but its cooldown is 5 minutes. Then I started looking at all the other virus guys. I'm like, hey, Galliumon, for example, has 55 seconds. Beelzemon has, for the third move, 40-second cooldown. Zed Millenniumon has 60 seconds. And Darker's back around 70. So I kind of use that 5-minute benchmark to see, okay, what's the maximum amount of damage we can do within that time using their movesets. So I kind of had a thought, and I was looking at some videos and looking at some stuff online, and they said Zed Millenniumon was one of the weakest and worst of the SSS Plus. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. It was interesting, caught my attention. And so I'm like, how bad is he? Right? So I did purchase the second item for this one in order to evolve it into Zed Millennium, because with the quest you get the A fragment or the first piece, and you always need to get the second fragment for it, for the dual ditch evolution guys. So I had to do that, and then I'm like, I want to see truly. Really, this stemmed from wanting to see if Zed Millenniumon was honestly and truthfully the weakest one of those SSS Plus batch guys that were available for from the SSS Plus, right? The jumping event. So I'm like, okay, I'm curious how, some of the SSS guys I have and the SSS Plus guys I got, how do they really stack against each other? So what I did is I had to reset the skills. I wanted to do it as evenly as I possibly could, which is hard to do seeing how you can see that he is 60 out of 70 in Digiclone. I'll show you that in a sec. So here we go. Oh yeah, this is menu galore right now. So, and then seal. Okay. So this is pretty much the benefits I get from all my equipment right here on the left. The 15 skill is specific because of this Spiral King ring, which affects him specifically because he is virus, but he does meet the Virus Buster, the Dragon, or the Metal Empire attributes. So I'll get an extra 5 skill, attack, and some HP. The other skill points come from this one and this one as well. So that's where you see the 15% skill damage increase. Okay, and this is what I get from my seals. All right down here. And then I try to be, as fair as possible. I reset his skills because I'm going to redistribute the points. So it was a win-win for me. So basically I'm trying to do as much base damage given what I have. I didn't equip a title yet either. I'm kind of, should I equip the title? It does affect the skill damage. If you don't have the title, I'll try to do it without, I'll do it without the title, and then I'll do another run with the title. So these buffs he gets from just being a SSS. Crit rate, and then the virus SSS 5 skill % damage. Voila, there you go. So again, these are his base stats. Well, as base as my Digimon gets based off the items and equipment I have, and his skill damage. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna fight this lovely guy right here. Now, I did a little testing off screen. He has exactly 1,080,000 HP. So it's trying to see how quickly we can get to basically to 1,000,000 damage. And I have a timer out. I kind of timed them already all a little bit off screen to get a general idea. But now that I reset both these guys' skills, him and Beelzemon's skills, I want to see how much damage they do and who's technically quote unquote the slowest to reach the 1 mil damage. So with that out of the way, and these guys' levels do vary, which kind of sucks. It varies from, I think I've seen 79 to 82, but I don't think the level matters too much because the damage required to defeat them is the same throughout the levels. So we're gonna do that with each of them, and then I think I'm gonna fight what's his face up there, Rundlemon? Yeah, this guy, for about, I want to say, an average of 3 minutes with each guy to see how much damage they can output in 3 minutes, because you can do all the math for that too if you just want to really break down the cooldown times and just kind of scale it that way. But I think maybe seeing it and physically represent it, I think, might be a better demonstration of the damage they do. So without further ado, guys, I'm gonna close this out, close this out, and we're gonna move into position, and let me switch over to this real quick. Now, I will say with Galliamon, his third move, it takes 55 seconds to cool down. It has an 8-second skill animation time, which is horrendous. The funny part from his third move is, however, you gain a buff for 10 seconds, which increases skill damage by 20%, which is basically near useless just because of his animation cooldown. However, his first move, which cools down every 4 seconds, and you can see the damage right there of with the bonuses and everything I output, has a 2-second animation. So theoretically, you can launch the third move and the first one and do 20% more damage, I think, with the first move. I don't know if it's going to cut off exactly at like the 10-second mark and the damage is getting through, or if it locks in the damage when you hit the skill, right? Regardless of how much time it takes for the animation. But yeah, that's basically it, which I think is a dumb effect to give to a move that lasts that long. Because even if you try to use your second move, it's a 5-second cooldown, which is also just equally ridiculous if you're trying to benefit off the third move. But there you go. Well, before I ramble on forever, we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna hit the timer. I got it right here on the side, and then I'm gonna stop the timer on the bottom when it says when it hits the mill damage and 80. I'll stop the timer regardless of the animation that's going on, and technically the Digimon will still be up, but the damage has been dealt. So technically, by that definition, it has been defeated. It has, all its HP has been removed. So without further ado, let's get this. Let me get up closer. Here we go. Doesn't matter. Okay. So let's get this started. So let's go. I'm gonna be spamming the A button right now, so hopefully I can land a hit. And his first move is pretty much spammable because it's 4 seconds and it's a 2-second animation. So, I mean, you can kind of just go back and forth with his first move for, I think, a pretty good amount of time. I did the math again, like I did like a minute scenario. How many times you can do a 4-second move compared to a 14-second cooldown, which is his second move. The first move outdoes the damage. So ideally, I think, in my opinion, I'll give this at the end of this, I think his first move and third move should be what you max out the 10 out of 10. And he's still not dead. There you go. All right. There you go. So I got it clocked at about 46 seconds and 25. Okay. That's the first. We'll do it another time just to see if, it might vary by a second or so on my end, clicking in or whatever, but I have about 46 seconds clocked in for this guy. So let's see. Let me open up my notes real quick because I do have it written down. So for Crimsonmon, let me change that time to 46. There you go. All right. And this guy usually spawns in pretty quickly. But if not, we can always switch to a channel and kind of give it another go. So again, I clocked about 46 seconds. So let's try this again. So again, this one's level 81, but the damage is going to be the same regardless. So that's how much HP it has. So now we're going to just restart that. I'm gonna reset the timer, and then we're gonna go again. So as soon as I push the button, let's go. I'm curious now if I use instead the second move, because the first move is technically better at being spammed, but I wonder if it locks in the damage when I hit the move. So regardless of the timer, I wonder if it hits. Yeah, because the second skill that has 14 seconds has a 5-second animation cooldown. In the cooldown itself, I can do another one of its first moves just cooling down, which is absurd. So I mean, ideally, I think you just want to spam the first move, and you might be able to maximize that damage. All right. Yeah, I got about another 46 seconds, 0.82. So yeah, I'm looking at about 46 seconds for, and again, there is a bit of a discrepancy. He is not base just like I have Bagramon and Moon, because he is Digiclone, which is why he does get a buff in his skills. So, and obviously it scales as you evolve, but I think it's still a good measurement. Again, none of his skill points are maxed out, because if I did this to 10, I think it does a grand total based on what I have, like 50k damage. And this would do about I think it was like 260 or 280 or something like that. So again, damage would be significantly higher once skills are applied. But for now, we're gonna switch guys on over. So I got about 46 seconds for this guy. So now we're gonna switch over to Bagramon. And then I'm gonna equip the 7th-day one. Oh, I did fail to mention, I have the Digivice of Miracle, this one. Recently got it from the side quest that Ty had in, oh my god, is it Odaiba? Hold up real quick, because I can look this up real quick. Nope, is it Shibuya? Nope. Wow, where the heck is it? Oh, okay, yeah, here, okay. Right now, I don't know if it's specific to this event right now. It might be. In the Valley of Light, Ty, which is roughly right about here, has a quest. He'll have a purple icon, and it's for this. You can pick any Digivice from like the base 8 or 9 Digivices. Basically, all you have to do is beat all the like raid bosses, like the 3 different Myotismons that spawn throughout this area, like throughout this whole area. You gotta fight Dark Tyrannomon and the green guy, the second stage for oh my god, for the Dracomon guys. I forget the dude's name, but that's one of the monsters you have to fight. And then once you beat all those raid guys, you go back to Ty, you finish the mission, and he'll offer you a box for a reward. And then the box has one of the Digivices you can pick from, like the Courage, all those kind of Digivices. And then with the stones, obviously, you can reset it, get what you want. I did the Virus and Darkness specifically for the Digimon I was testing, but then I realized some of them have, like light attribute, like him and Galliamon. So I'm like, So I'm not gonna include this because it is quite a bit of extra virus damage. So for now, we're gonna evolve Bagramon, and we're gonna do the same thing. Now, the biggest difference between Bagramon and Galliamon and is that I have done no Digiclone, as you can see right off the rip. It's 0 out of 75. No skill points as well involved in any way, shape, or form. Now, Bagramon is a little bit interesting, in which the third move inflicts dot damage, which goes for about 28 seconds. You'll see it pop up. It's for 28 seconds, and every 4 seconds it'll do X amount of damage. I think it's like 7,500 damage every 4 seconds. That's for the third move, and it'll activate every time, 100% of the time when you use your third move, which has a minute and 10-second cooldown, and you can see the damage right up there. It'll inflict that debuff. The second move, right here, which is an 11-second cooldown, and there's the damage output base. Again, nothing to pump it up in any way, shape, form for the most part. has a 20% chance to petrify the enemy for 5 seconds, which is funny because the animation time for the second move is about 5 seconds itself. So technically you're kind of just, if you get it off, you're just petrifying the enemy for about the time it takes for your second move to stop and hit, which is funny. But again, if you're doing like a team-based activity or you're doing like a boss or something, maybe it's not the worst thing. You stop them, you know, luckily before they do like an AoE move or something. Not bad. You can have 5 seconds of uninterrupted damage, I suppose. And then the first move has nothing, I think, special or significant to it. Just 5 second cooldown with about 3.5 second cooldown, or the animation, sorry. Okay, so with that all being said, and now again, one of the bigger difference, obviously, as well as Background's a SSS+. So again, all the stats and stuff scale higher and better as opposed to a SSS. So you can look at the stats, that's pretty much it. Everything from tamer-wise has stayed the same. So we're going to conduct the same test. We're going to go up to this fine gentleman here. And again, it has the same. This one has a 7% skill increase. I think Galliamon had 5. So again, slightly variation. But I will also make note that this one does not apply to Bagramon, because Bagramon does not meet any of the virus busting attributes. It's a Nightmare Soldier, I think is the NSO. So that being said, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to run the timer. We're going to see how much damage. So ideally, I'm going to go just third move, second move, first move. Alright, so let's get this started. There. So right there, you guys can see it lasts for 28 seconds. That's the total dot damage I think it's going to do throughout the whole damage. Being poisoned takes 7,500 damage per 4 seconds. So there you go. And oh, there you go. There it is. There you go. And you kind of saw like looked like stone and stuff or gravel on the floor. That was it being petrified. So there you go. And the dot damage is gone. This does consume more DS because the third move, again, the scales because it's a SSS, takes about 6,000. Yeah, 6,800. I did forget to go over the DS cost for the moves. We'll go over them when we do the second strike. And still not dead. There you go. So, okay. For Darkness Background right now, I got about 59 seconds. Not too good, but again, let's run let's do a second go, and we'll see how long it takes to do the damage. And again, like I said, the dot damage does do a little bit extra, which is fun. It's neat. Nothing too crazy. Let's heal up, and then let's try to do this again. I mean, so the third move takes 6,800 DS. And you can see the base damage is really good, 183,000 damage. Really good. Second move is 2,600 DS, more roughly, you know. And then you got base 36k damage, 11-second cooldown. Then you got the first move at 1,200 DS, at a base at about 16, fit 547, plus again you see the other 9,000 and the 198. So there you go. So now we're going to try to do this again. And let's see if I get a slightly different time. That seemed pretty excessive. 59 seconds. I think when I tested before was... I think it was less. It was quicker. Oh, what I will say, I failed to mention this. This is the deck buff. I got 5 crit chance increase, HP by 15%. And this is for normal attack damage, 40% chance to activate. There you go. So without further ado, let's get this started. So as you can see, again, it always guarantees the hit. There you go. No petrification so far, but again, the time it takes it to get petrified is pretty much the skill animation. So you can give or take that however you feel like it. Ooh. Okay, yeah, this was a much better time. There you go. I got 52 seconds. Okay. So 52 and 59, that is a 7-second discrepancy. I'll probably, if I want to say if I spam the first move more. No, this just does a good amount of damage. I think we're going to do this one more time, and then we'll see what kind of time we get in between that. So I got 52 and 59 seconds so far between takes. So this guy is a little weaker, 79. But let's see. I'm gonna reset the timer and go. So there you go. You got the dot damage off again. Like I said, that one's 100%. It's guaranteed to do it every time. Not looking too good for Bagramon again. Okay, come on. Oh, 43 seconds already. Not looking good. 50 seconds. 56 seconds. Interesting. Okay. So I got 52 to 59. Funny enough, the average in the middle, it did land at 56, which is pretty fun. So we'll say I'm happy and comfortable saying 56 is not a bad average time. Let me see. I'll make just note of this real quick on my little pad here. 56. All right, not bad. Again, it's roughly about 10 seconds more than it took Galliamon Awaken, even though he is a triple S. However, Galliamon did have the benefit of being Digiclone attack 15 to the max, so that obviously scaled his moves much higher. I'm not going to take anything away from Bagramon. What I might do at the end again is power up the moves and then see if I get time closer to Galliamon, which I think might be a fair shake in comparison to him being, Digiclone, and this one's not at all. So there you go. That's Bagramon. Now, I will say the one side for Bagramon from the Triple S plus Virus lineup. I'll save all the commentary for that at the end. Okay, so we're going to switch over to my good friend called the Moon Agumon, but this is part of the Seed Millennium lineup. And then switch back to my Digichip. Boom. Okay. Now for Seed Millenniumon has 4 moves. I've not Digicloned them. The third one is an AoE. It's a very small AoE area. Not very good. Now, so we're just good. Okay, so his fourth one is 1153 DS, 9-second cooldown. It's a small AoE move. Not too impressive. His third move, which takes up a lot of DS. I think Seed Millenniumon of all these guys is the most DS intense out of all the bunch. The base damage also for the third move is not as impressive as the other guys we saw. This is 138,596 plus the other effects, but it's a minute cooldown, so it's 10 seconds, faster than Bagramon's. But Bagramon did, I think, base 160 or 180. So there's a difference right there. And the DS is about 2,000 more than what it took for Bagramon. However, the third move on activation has a 100% chance for 3 seconds to stun the enemy. For this move, the third move. So that's not nothing. And then oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong guy. Am I? Oh, I'm looking at the right guy. Okay. And yeah, fourth skill has an area effective skill. Okay. So his first move, second move is 2,819 DS, base 41,327 damage, 11-second cooldown. Now, what Z Millenniumon does have that's pretty cool, but almost kind of redundant. No, not redundant. I say almost kind of useless. Is it's cool and fun that all his skill animations are very short. And I'll go over that right now after the first move. So his first move takes about 1,537 DS, and it does base of 17,253 damage. And then you can see the bonus and it has a 6-second cooldown. Now for his skill animations, the first move takes about 3.3 seconds. The second move takes 2.1 seconds. The third move takes 2.2 seconds, and then the fourth move takes 2.1. That's really impressive that you can finish the skill animation, and technically, which I guess I wouldn't say useless, I'll retract my previous statement. You can actually do, I guess, regular base melee damage in between the cooldowns because the animation is so quick you can actually squeeze in an attack before you launch another attack. So technically, it does help in terms of how you do damage output. So that being said, we're gonna go over to our good friend over here once again, and let me restart the timer. And then we're gonna go for a little test run. So let's go. Boom. Did way less damage right off the cuff too. You can tell because everyone else was doing about 2 and change. Again, he's gonna be left more to. You know what? I'm gonna actually risk it and let's do his fourth move. Why not? If it's damage on the board, might as well use it. Look, it's available again. Whatever. I'll do a little bit of mon damage. Oh my gosh! No. Well, I guess that doesn't matter right now. I did not hit the start of the timer. I swear I did. Well, I did, and I must have stopped there immediately again because it's not keeping track of time. So that stinks. All right. Well, I feel that took quite a long time. So I think with Zed, I'm also gonna have to do quite a bit of trials and see where the time fits somewhere between. So I'm thinking, let's see. Do the first move. I'll have to do. So I'm gonna go third, second, fourth, and first, and then I'll see how it cools down. Okay. So this time I'm not gonna mess up. I'm gonna hit the start. All right, ready? Go. There you go. It's keeping track now. Perfect. Okay, you see how it stunned him there? It's actually not bad. So now let's do, there you go. Let's use the first one again. Then the second move's gonna be available in a second. The fourth move is not very helpful because it does the least amount of damage. But again, it's extra damage once in a while in between the other moves. So I'm not just kind of doing melee. Okay, I did 2 oopsies. I forgot to restart the damage. But I got roughly 48 seconds. And again, with this guy, I'm going to do quite a few tests. So let's not try to do any errors next time. So far that wasn't too bad. That was pretty good. Everything seems to be in order. Let me restart the timer. The damage has been restarted. So without further ado, let's go. It is weird because you can kind of time the third and the fourth move to kind of almost reset at the same time. And again, see, like right now I can do the fourth move. And again, by the time the animation done, the first move's ready, and then I can flawlessly go into the second move. And again, so you're not really wasting too much time. Like there's always a move being activated. Which is the perks kind of having 4 moves, because that means you're always doing something that's not necessarily melee. There you go. 47 seconds. Okay. So about a second difference. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. I think that is the perk because you can squeeze in an extra, what is it, 11 plus 6. So another 18 about when you do the math, 18,000 every, every other usage between this move and your base move, or like your first move. So that's not bad. You're doing extra damage because you got access to an additional move. So that's not too bad so far. Okay. So I got 46 seconds and 47 seconds. Okay. Hold up. Let me check this real quick. Okay. So this is actually going pretty well. Better than I originally anticipated. Okay. Now. Let me check this real quick. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lead off with the third move, second, do the fourth, hit him with the first, and then we're going to do second, first, third. Trust me. Or fourth. So we're going to do the damage. I have the timer restarted. So let's go. Okay, that didn't stop me anything at all. That's good. Oh, I did mess up on the moveset. That did kind of throw me off. Okay. Still fine. I think I just looped it slightly slower, but that's fine. Yeah, by the time the fourth move, the first move's available, and after the first move, the second one, because it is short animation. So that is a plus. Not as irrelevant as I thought it was going to be. So there you go. Fourth move. Back to the first, looping back to the second move, and there you go. I got 45 seconds. So yeah, we're looking, 45, 46, 47 seconds. So we'll say on average it's doing 46 seconds, right in between, the mead between all the 3 times I've taken so far. So that's not bad. So for quote unquote, again, from what I've seen online and heard, he's one of the quote unquote, I think, worst from the bunch that you can get from the current jumping event, which may or may not be true. I think Darkness Bagramon, again, in this short distance damage, so far has, out of the 2, Zed was better. Again, unfortunately I can't test my Lucem on Satan Mode Awakening because he's level 140 and he's max Digiclone, so that would be completely unfair. And yeah, he's level 140, so there you go. But I think actually this was pretty good, and I also tested Galliamon, so that's surprisingly went pretty well. Now, should I go back for Beelzemon? I think it's relevant because, again, based online, it's said that he can basically outdamage some of the triple S plus guys just solely on his cooldown time because it's so quick and so efficient. And I can atone to this. It is very fast. We'll go over his stats in a second once I bring him into the party. And then I think after this, we're gonna probably do some 3-minute fights on the I call him Willis from the Digimon movie. When Digimon, whatever its actual name is, I feel bad because it is 2nd gen and I should know him. But here we go. Digimon Archives. Don't mind the clutter. Here we go. Boom. We'll go over that at a different time. All right, let's head on back out. So I'm gonna switch over to Impmon in a second, and we'll conduct a test with him as well. Now the thing with Impmon as well. Whoops, I didn't mean to click on you, buddy. Sorry, you guys are just in the way. His attack is also cloned up to 15. So again, you're gonna see his skill damage spike. It'll multiply based on that. So again, not 100% like base raw damage with them, but it's as close to as I can get. I also did reset his skills because upon further review, when I actually looked at the stats, I'm like, boy, I can spam his first move, which will outdo the damage over time on his second move. And since his third move does really high base damage, and it has a 40-second cooldown, you can really do some damage with this guy. So again, he has the 5% skill increase damage. So real quick, he is the squishiest one of the bunch. Again, I'll go over, I think, in my opinion, what some of the pros and cons are for each of them. He has the least amount of HP out of the bunch, for sure. I think also maybe the weakest defense out of the bunch. It's either him or Baggerman, I think it was, base stat-wise. I'll look at that correctly in a second. Oh no, it's him. He has the weakest defense and the lowest HP, so that's fine. But okay. So let's see if there's anything special with any. Yeah, none of his skills have any interesting quirk thingies. He's basically a glass cannon kind of Digimon. High output damage, high crit chance. He has the triple advanced skill break, so he can do a lot of damage, but again, he is very squishy. Low defense from the bunch, lowest HP from the bunch. Again, you can compensate that with skills on your equipment items, maybe even on your Digivice. You know, you can change things up a little bit. I got straight DS and some crit, just because again, a lot of them are DS intensive. I kind of use that, and then my accessories, as you saw, for the most part, were like HP and DS based again, except for these. Actually, even all of these. My skill and crit ones I have stored away for the moment. But yeah, this is just again for HP and DS, just to kind of train them, because you know you don't want to be constantly healing because you're running out of DS every 2 seconds. Because again, the higher you go, the more DS intensive all the Digimon skills and moves become. So that's my logic behind doing a bunch of HP and DS on these kind of guys. So without further ado, we have Chaos Flare at 3,243, about almost a third of what Seed Millennium's third move is, and it does more damage initially based right off the jump. Let's see if I can pull up the numbers on my side right here. Oh, actually no, that's incorrect. Oh wow, really? Okay. On the wiki page, according to this, the third move does 166,358 base at level 10. While Seed Millennium's third move at level 10 base does 183,911. It does have a 20-second cooldown difference between his move and Seed Millennium's move. So again, if you do it over time, I think that's where you can kind of see the damage difference, which is why I want to fight the other guy to see how much damage I can really do over time. Because again, you know, to reach the mill, it's really a matter of kind of cooldown and again, how much damage you can actually do. So let's go back to the second move, Death Slinger. It's a 1,523 DS. And again, those numbers are a little skewed based on what I have. But the base damage on that would be 2,852. And again, you can see it scales differently, unfortunately, because he's Digiclone 15. So his numbers will be increased. So with him and Galliumon, the time I take with a little bit, you know, with a grain of salt, just because they have higher increased damage right off the jump, even though they technically are a rank lower because they're triple S as opposed to the triple S plus. I think that kind of almost compensates for it. I think if anything more, it's still better being a triple S with actual buffs like this as opposed to the base raw damage I think some of the triple S plus can do. But we'll see right now with how much I do for the damage and time. And then you got double impact at 687 DS. And according to this, the website, it does a base damage of 16,735 and 4-second cooldown with the animation being 3 seconds. So basically his first move is spammable, which I didn't realize because initially I think I maxed out his second and first move and then I put the rest into his third move. This time I might do max out first and might be able to max out the third move and then put some into the second. We'll see right now on how the damage kind of plays overall between all these guys. So without further ado, let's go back to this and let's start it off. Okay, so we're gonna start the timer and we're gonna start the damage now. Second move, I think I'm probably just gonna be spamming his first move, honestly. It's like so easy to do. Boom, Again, I'm tempted not even to do his third move just because of a second move, just because how long the animation takes. It takes 5 seconds, I think. Hold on, let me bring this up real quick. Yeah, it takes 5.3 seconds about to do his first move. And now again, the perk of his third move being 40 seconds, look at that, boom. So that also kind of helps you time it, because his first move was able to come back and I was able to use to close out the damage. So he took 42 seconds to complete and do the damage. 42 seconds. By far, that is much quicker than all the other guys. His time went down to... oh my god, I think I was doing 42 seconds. So far, it's pretty impressive. 42 seconds is nothing to scoff at. That was actually really quick. Wow, it's pretty impressive. And again, just because this move is spammable in 40 seconds, again, think about it. If the other guys are doing their third move does, again, it scales differently just because he does have the stats increase, but oh, I have to see. This is so difficult. I'm so curious about this now. Okay, let's try this again. Let's heal that up. And I think pretty much with his third move being spammable, it's really impressive. Okay, so let's get the timer started and let's go. This time I'm going to just try to, after I hit this second move, I think I'm just going to spam his first move. See if that helps. I'd be curious. No second move, just straight spam the first move. Nah, I'll do that on the third one. I'll do that on the third test. I'll use the second move. For the third one, I'm just going to, no. Ooh. That'd be so interesting. I didn't even think about that. But again, that's like an overtime kind of scale. Like the first move would outdo damage just because it's quicker. See, I'm not even going to do the other move because I know his next move's going to come up faster. And there you go. 43 seconds. And again, the skill animation and everything was still going on, but the damage on the bottom where you can see where it says given damage had reached before, you know, the whole animation had finished. So I clocked it in at 43 seconds. So, and again, I'm using this guy just because it's pretty easy. He has about 1 mil health. He's virus as well, so I don't have advantage or disadvantage on him, which is kind of the same, which is, I think, pretty fair. His level is lower, yes, but I think it still helps in terms of time and damage because you can see how long it takes for them to get to that mil damage. So let me restart this again and let's have at it. Yeah, let's see if I can just spam the first move. Okay, we're gonna stop using the second move now. No second move, just first move and the third move. Because the third move pretty much is going to finish him out almost regardless of where his health is going to land in about a minute. Let's see. Let's go. I'll just wait for it. There you go, 41 seconds. Yeah, so by far, and again, it's hard to say and almost unfair because he does have his attack boost, which does scale his moves up to do more damage. So a little bit biased, but you know what? Let me test Moon one more time real quick. I call him Moon Agumon just because that's what I named him, but I know it's Seed Millenniumon. Okay, let's go back to this real quick. Switch channels. So yeah, he does it in about 42 seconds. And consistently, he's 41, 42, 43. Minor discrepancies probably maybe me tapping the stop or start button, so that is not bad measurement at all. Without further ado, I got the timer ready, so let's just go. Okay, so far so good. Let's do second, first, third, I got about 42 seconds as well. So let's try that one more time with him. And again, so this is really interesting because it brings up an interesting point. Again, Seed Millenniumon is a SSS plus. So again, his base stats do scale higher and better, but he doesn't have the extra damage, pre-built into him. So that is very interesting. Let me bring up the stats. Yeah, so that's his raw damage that you would see on the wiki page. This is the damage output you'll see at level 1. Now, if you just compare him straight to Beelzemon's damage, it is less on both the second and third move. The first move, well, actually, no, yeah, he does less on all moves. And he doesn't have a fourth skill. However, I think that the fact that you can spam the first move is pretty impressive and pretty good. And again, the fact that his third move that does pretty much comparable damage to Seed Millenniumon's third move is 20 seconds faster in cooldown. So let's scale it by 2 minutes, right? So this is what I'm saying. So if 60 seconds for his cooldown, right? So you can do the move 2 times. And that's the same amount of time. It's 120 seconds. You can do Beelzemon's move 3 times. So if I'm doing 138, let's say 140 flat, right? By 2, that's 280,000 damage in 2 minutes just from this move alone. If we take Beelzemon's move that does base of 131, so we'll do 130, but I can do it 3 times in the same amount of time. I'm doing 390 damage. Over 100 more damage, 100 more K damage in the same amount of time, just using that move alone. So you can see where I'm going with this, like depending on how you scale it and how long the encounter is, because again, most encounters don't end in 40 seconds, because if you're doing bosses, raids, and dungeons and stuff, they're obviously going to have more HP, more defense, and all that kind of stuff. Again, overall, do his moves hit harder? Seeds? Yes. The cooldown times are higher, and the animation times, actually, funny enough, overall shorter with Seed. So that is also an interesting thing, because you can spam the extra 4th move and kind of mix in the damage there. That was pretty intriguing. So they roughly more or less have about the same time, within the same time frame. So now, what I think I'm going to do... Here we go. I'm going to test it out on this guy right here. Again, I just call him Willits just because that was the kid's name who had both. I think was his rookie form also Tyriamon? I think he comes from Tyriamon. Whatever. He had both Tyriamons, and then one got corrupted, and this was the virus evolution form of Tyriamon, and the kid's name was Willis. So that's why I just call him Willis. Easier for me to remember. All right. So now I think we're gonna probably do about 3 minutes. I don't want to take too much time. I might do 5 and then just cut that out and just show you guys the damage at the end of the 5-minute mark. But it is going to be quite a bit of time. So, and again, I don't have the Digivice that does extra dark and virus damage. I don't have any titles on or equipped right now. Again, I do have a pretty, I'd say it's a decent title. I don't know how good it actually is. This one. It's at the center of the tail. So this one gives me 2000 HP, skill damage increase, damage by 13%, and max DS by 1500. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It helps. Right now I have no titles applied. So now I'm just, again, I'm trying to do as simple damage as I can. So now that out of the way, let's go and let's get this started. So let's open up and let's start this clock. Let's go. Nope. Okay, there you go. And might be skewed a little bit by a second, but that's fine. That DS consumption is no joke, dude. Jeez. That third move just kills you. That's almost 9,000 DS. That's just, oof. So much. And again, obviously the damage is gonna look different because this guy's level 111, and he's basically like a raid boss, just absurd amount of HP. Probably got a couple mils maybe of HP. Don't even know. Oh, I gotta have to start using the platinum bananas. I'm gonna run out of DS in a second. Well, that's embarrassing. You know what? Let me throw in real quick before I forget. Here, we'll throw in the shortcake. There you go. Just so I have something else to kind of go in between. So we're at about a minute 10, and I did about a mil 500. All right, not bad. And I think this guy does definitely benefit from having 4 moves, because again, there's like something to kind of do in between the first and the third move. So look, so 8 seconds, 6, and then yeah, I can kind of, that's pretty good. I like that. I think if I time it better, I can definitely kind of go like with the little battles against Satanmon. Pretty good, I think, how I had the timing. It's not looking too bad. Almost about 2 minutes. You can tell because the move's coming back. And I'm not taking a lot of damage either because I got very high defense. Probably should have gone over that real quick, but we'll bring that up in a sec. There you go. Okay. He has the highest, I think, base defense. As you can see, it's almost 3,000 defense with very minimum, other things involved. As opposed to some of the other guys who were a little bit more squishier. And I think he has one of the highest HPs as well. Baggerman, I think, is pretty close up there for a triple SSS. I think we'll call it cap at 3 minutes. There you go. That is 3 minutes. So let's back it up this way. So in about 3 minutes, I was able to do about 3 mil damage. So let me just make note of that. Here. So roughly 3 minutes. This is Z. So let's just put that underneath. I'll put 3 minutes. And I did about 3,500,000. Okay. Let's see, 4, 9, 2, 3 damage. Okay. Cool. All right. There you go. So now we're gonna switch to Baggermon. I'm really curious about the dot damage and the petrify. We'll see how that actually plays into this. Might take less damage. See, Zed almost had 1,000 more, if not about 1,000 more defense and roughly the same HP. So it can help further along the line for sure. Okay, so now let me switch back to my timer. Bring that up. Reset the timer. And let's go. There, he's suffering from both debuffs. Again, that's pretty good. Again, he's not hitting, but look, taking hits. That's interesting. Like I said, we're gonna do it for about 3 minutes as well. Yeah, so I have to get ready. Just make sure I can hit the stop for the Digimon so it doesn't do any extra damage. Boy, oh boy, am I just taking... Really giving me the business over here. Wow. Alright, we're about at a minute mark. And again, Baggermon's third move takes 70 seconds, so about a minute 10 for it to be reused. Here we go. And again, it's also another triple S, but it does do the little, you know, the dot damage. So I don't know how much that really takes into effect, but it's interesting. Man, this guy's just giving me the business. Holy smokes. Wow. Dude, I would love to do a vaccine equivalent. I think actually I don't have Omegamon X though, because I'm trying to get him through the in-game story. Proving harder than I thought. Well, I knew it was gonna be difficult, but doing the X Terminal raid, so difficult. Ugh. But yeah, I do have Alphamon Oruken Awaken. I have Shin Susanomon. What other triple S plus vaccine do I have? Those two guys I think are about 140 each. So that's a fun comparison maybe. I'm at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Dude, I'm taking a thrashing. I didn't notice my HP going down that much with Zed. I don't know if I just wasn't paying too much attention to it. And it's almost time. There you go. Okay. And follow. Okay. So I did about 3 mil. Not bad. Let me go down to I'm just making notes of this myself. 3 minutes. I did about 3 mil damage. That 50. And okay. So about 500,000 less. And I think that definitely stems from the fact that I was able to, with Zed, go off one more time with my move. And again, it has a fourth move, so in between all the cooldowns and animation, I'm sneaking in an extra hit here and there. So I think that does play a little bit into it. And now let's go and try. We're gonna with Beelzemon again. Put my timer back up. Let me restart that. Now I'm concerned because I have 12,000 less HP than both guys. And way less defense. Dude, Zed almost had 3,000 HP. This guy has 1,342 defense. Again, Glass Cannon, very good damage output, but very squishy. He is a triple S, I do get that, but man, is this gonna be interesting to say the least. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. 1 sec. All right, guys, I'm back. Ooh. Let me get back into position. All right. I'm not. I'm not very optimistic about this. You know what? Let me put all the stuff I need, the platinum bananas, because boy, oh boy, do I feel I'm gonna get my ass handed to me. Where's the soda drink thing? Here we go. Okay, I need every precaution available. Oh, I'm not really confident about this. This is gonna hurt for sure. Okay. Alright, guys, let's get this started. Okay, looking good. Again, I feel like I should spam just his first move, but no, I should definitely do all the damage available to me. But I mean, over time, you can definitely use the first move more than the second, so that's why I think for him, you should definitely invest in the first move more than the second. And again, the good thing about his third move is that it does high damage and it comes back really quick. 40 seconds is amazing. Oh yeah, look at that damage, dude. And again, it's so unfair. It kind of sucks. I really wish I didn't have him digicloned, so then I can really get a more base raw damage. Can I reset it? Okay, I'm curious if I reset. Oops, my health. If I reset his digiclone, I don't think I'll get my stuff back that I invested in him. So I definitely don't want to lose on all those max, digiclone options. But I would love to get a better base damage, baseline for him. I think it'd be so good. Because again, I'm doing very good damage in a short amount of time. It's been about a minute 30 now, minute 27, but I've done already over 2 mil damage. Again, just because of his cooldown time, and his damage is pretty impressive. But again, the thing that gives him the biggest edge right now is that he is digiclone, so obviously his moves do much more than the base skill damage itself. So I feel it is a little unfair, but I mean, I just gotta find out, right? Now his health is kind of a bit of an issue. As you can see, I do take good chunks of damage. Okay, let's see. Heal up. I'm at 2 minutes and 20, and I've already done more than Seed Millennium. But again, with no digiclone, no power boost, it is a tough one to say. I am curious though. What if I power up Seed Millennium and Baggerman? I want to say maybe to 3 or 6 attack, and then digiclone wise, and then see how well the damage scales compared to this guy's damage output. And we're about to hit the 3-minute mark. And we're done. Okay. Follow me, buddy. Let's go. So I did about a mil damage more than Z Millennium Man, which again isn't too surprising because he has very low cooldown times and short animations for his moves. But he is Digiclone, which is the biggest factor in this test. But that being said, I also have, actually, let me make note of that before I forget. Damage output, more or less. So in 3 minutes, I did about 4. Wow. 18,863 damage. Pretty good. Really good. All right. I'm just gonna try out Galliantmon, his awakened mode. See how much damage he does. I think he has between these guys, I think base damage, he might have the hardest hitting third move. But that cooldown time is just so atrocious. Bring up the other page back up. Yeah, I know. I still haven't done my dailies. I was dilly-dallying too much earlier. That was on me. Okay. Bring the timer back and let's switch. Is it this form? Ah, oh, that's the wrong form. Such an idiot. Whatever. So dumb. Okay. It's this one. How silly of me. There you go. That was my bad. I was just clicking like an idiot. A little bit more defense, a little bit more HP, but he's also pretty squishy. And again, I do understand that they are only SSS compared to the other two who are SSS+. Should I? Nah, I think Lucimon's fine. Lucimon's just, again, in terms... Should I bring Lucimon along for funsies? Because fighting, what's his face down there? Skull Satamon, Lucimon cleared it in 29 seconds on average. So if everyone was doing it at 42, just goes to show you how much he scales. Because he's fully Digiclone. I think he's might be 75 out of 75 actually. And I think he's a bigger size. I think he's level 6, but I'll have to double check that in a second. Okay. So now, same thing. Let me put the other items here just in case things go sideways. I don't think they should. I think if Beelzemon proved anything, is that I should be okay. I was really worried I was gonna be a little too squishy. It wasn't too bad. Okay. So now this is all set and ready. Let's get the timer started. Let me restart that and go. Try to spam the first move, see if I can squeeze it in between that atrocious timing buff. Okay. And again, I think 3 minutes is fine. My ideal time would be 5 minutes. Just because, again, just from the SSS guys you can get, which includes Lucimon, Satamon, and Awaken, his third move is 5 seconds, which is what I was kind of, in my mind, scaling the damage output, because that's his highest or his strongest hitting move with a very long cooldown. It is an AoE, which is a plus, I guess, to its benefit in certain instances, but I'm like, well, how much damage can the other guys do in that same amount of time? And again, this guy also has Digiclone, so he is going to be doing more damage. Oh, and then I think from all the other guys, I think Baggermon's also light, actually. But he benefits from being light moves, and he's darkness, so there is that as well. Not looking too bad. minute 20, I got almost 2 mil damage. Not bad at all. Oof. I think he might do about the same as a Beelzemon. If not, maybe more. Just look at that first move cooldown, dude. It's so good. Yeah, his first move is also pretty much spammable. It's also, I think, 4 or 5. I think it's 5 seconds. I can just look 4 seconds. Same speed as the other guy's move. Two minutes, I'm at almost 3 mil damage. And I think his move is what's kind of carrying the damage. But again, this is 55 seconds. Beelzemon's damage is a little bit less, but it's 15 seconds still faster than this. So again, that's something to take into consideration. I'm almost at 3 minutes. I'm at 240. Oh, I did less damage. Wow. Oh, let's see if I can pull off his fourth move. Alright, this is kind of cheating, but not really. Hold on, let me... And stop. There you go. Okay. Alright, not too bad, actually. That's better than I thought. What I did hate is that move takes forever for the skill animation. So I got about 3 minutes and 0.79 milliseconds. But it was pretty good damage. 4 minutes? It's nothing to scoff at. Alright. 3 minutes. 4, 2, 9. Sorry guys. I'm just gonna make that little note for myself. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay. Again, that was pretty impressive. Again, less damage than Beelzemon, but I think that is because of his third move that is spammable in comparison to 55 seconds. Because that's 3 times the usage, right? 55. 4 technically because I did it at the start of the encounter, and then subsequently I was able to do it 3 more times. So 4, but Beelzemon's move I was able to use way more times. Okay. Should I bring Lucimon? That is the $1 million question. I'm tempted. Oh, hold on, is this right now? Wait, what? That's not. I can't be. That's not an hour 40. Am I out of my mind? Hold on. Oh, okay, an hour 20. Okay, cool. That makes more sense. Okay. I think that's gonna. That's fine. I'll do the test real quick, and then I'll yap for the last few minutes and just kind of call it on that. And again, I'm not saying this is the perfect method. This is the ideal method for testing. This is just what I kind of came up with and what I think kind of works. Again, you can almost just do this on paper, just do a bunch of numbers. But again, I think actually doing the battling, kind of see it through. And again, taking your health and all that kind of stats and numbers into consideration is something important. Because as you can see, my last 2 guys, the SSS guys, were kind of taking a bit more of a butt whooping than anyone else. They were getting kind of thrashed in comparison. And let's see. Yeah, he's 75. Yeah, that's what I thought. And he's a bigger size. Yeah, it's and he's like 13 levels stronger than anyone. That's why I really didn't want to bring him into the comparison, because I know he's way and above everyone else's league. So, did I increase his skill points? No, okay, good. Good. But I mean, you can. It's funny though, actually, that his HP would technically without the buff would be a little bit lower than Bagramon and Zed. His defense is, I think, lower than both theirs as well, actually. I think Bagramon was like about 18. And yeah, because Zed was 29. So he does have less defense, about the same HP. So I think from those three, he's the lowest defense. But again, this is scaling higher because he's level 6 and he's a much bigger size. So that being said, let's get off our high horse. Yeah, I might as well just try this for the funsies. And again, the 5-minute cooldown is kind of what I was trying to scale it to. But as you can see, look at that base damage. He's already doing, technically on just paper, doing more, but he can only do that once every 5 minutes, which is kind of sad, really. Let me look at his cooldowns in time. So his first move is 6 seconds. According to the website, it says 6.5, but we'll go with what's here, 6. The animation is 4.1 seconds, so about 4 seconds. You can see the damage and you can see the level it's at. Second move is 12-second cooldown and a 4.1 skill animation time, so about the same. And you can see the DS and the base damage. And again, his DS is, I think, the least intensive from the 3, because his third move, again, just because it's long cooldown, it's 3,500. Baggermon was like 6,900. And oh my god, Zed was 8,900. Absurd. But you can do it much faster. You can do each of theirs roughly 4 to 5 times in the amount of time you can do this one move. But okay, that being said, I don't think he does anything else special, so let's just get on with the damage. So here we go. Oh yeah, I think he gains invulnerability for like 3 seconds when you use the third move. I think that's what that little buff thing was before it. Again, as you can see, I'm not taking as much damage. And it's built pretty solid. It's gonna be sad 3 minutes because I'm only able to use that second move once. I mean, the third move only once. So I gotta rely heavily on his first and second, which is why I powered his moves up like that, first and second to 10-10 and not the third one, because just because of the time, it almost makes no sense to really power that up, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm at about a minute. That's actually crazy damage, just because my first and second move hit much harder though. Whoa, I'm really giving this guy the business. Wow. Who needs a third move when your first and second move just hit like trucks? Look at this. I'm at a minute 45 and I'm did about almost 4 mil. So about, wow. Imagine if he had a usable third move. Now he's gonna blow them all out the water. Again, just because of his size, I think it also helps scale his damage and his move. So I'm at 2 minutes and 15. Just about. And he's higher level, so again, it is a bit unfair. Very unfair, actually. I'm hoping I can get to 6 mil. Just so I can be like, see? Oh my gosh, look at the time. Oh, come on. Let me get to that. Yes! Okay, I'm happy. It's still not times. It's still not time yet, but I'm ready. I'm ready. And that's time. Okay. I let off one more move, but that was fine. Oh yeah. So I did about 2 mil more damage than Beelzemon, who was my highest damage guy. Again, he is digicloned. But yeah, that was pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. I almost don't want to make note of this, but just since for funsies, since I'm here. Where the heck is he? This month. 3 minutes. I did 6 or 6-9. Wow. 980. 81. Boom. All right, there you go. That was pretty sweet and pretty impressive. That was fun. Oh my gosh, I'm okay. I'm so conflicted about this now. Actually, now that I looked at it again, just doing it on paper and doing the numbers on the calculator were different than this. And again, I didn't even use this Digivice, which would have increased my damage output by, I think, a fair amount. 15% damage for Virus and 17 for Darkness is not bad at all. Probably could get higher numbers, but that's fine for now. Okay. Now, as someone who doesn't have the Triple S box, because I missed the first few days because I'm an idiot, because it's not, I would have had them by now and I would have been able to pick. This was very interesting. Very interesting for me, actually, as well. Let's go back to this. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Let's review this. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm back to this. Okay. So, overall, guys, I think, again, maybe not the best and or proper way, because I don't have these guys base. I could get them base by hatching them. Excuse me. But then taking them to 127 for that purpose alone would be very difficult for me because I don't have enough digi cards to really get them to 127 in a timely manner. That being said, I think even though Beelzemon does show and did show a lot of potential in terms of damage output, because he has very high damage output, great cooldown, short skill animations. He has a glass cannon though, you know, low HP, low defense, but pretty much high on everything else in terms of damage. So I think that's really good and pretty impressive. And again, unfortunately, he is digiclone, so I couldn't give you guys exactly that baseline. Oh, let me drink some water real quick. Ooh. All right, sorry about that. Was pretty good and pretty impressive. Actually, let me just show you what Lucemon does to this poor guy real quick. I don't think I'll need the timer, but I'll just bring it up on just for myself as I just try to wrap this up real quick, guys. I don't want to take too much time. And again, I think Lucemon is a pretty cool and fun Digimon. I think it does have very good potential as well. Again, I can't really say for how it would be in its base form, but again, based on the damage I did and how fast I did it, I think that's pretty good and pretty good indicator of how it will scale up. And there you go. I got 27 seconds, almost 28 seconds, and I did the mill damage. So, 15 seconds faster than the quote-unquote the other fastest guys I had before. So there you go. And that's not even with the Digivice or anything cool on them. But yeah, again, he scales completely different, higher level, max transcended, bigger size, different levels. I really couldn't scale him, unfortunately, with the rest of the guys from the potential loot box you guys can get. Now, the one cool thing about like Galleonmon and Beelzemon is that they are triple S level monsters that only require one slot. They digivolve by themselves. They don't need and as well as Lucemon here, just one Digimon to go all the way up to triple S plus in this case. But for Zed Millenniumon, obviously you need Agumon and Gazamon, which are two guys And again, I think their moves and speed were comparable to Beelzemon, who was powered up, and Zed was not. In terms of damage output, I think, and again, they scale differently because of their ranks from Triple S to Triple S Plus. But I think Zed Millennium really showed good potential as well and good damage output and relatively good speed. Well, in terms of damage output, because it has 4 moves and you can kind of play around with the first, second, and fourth move, which I think really helps the character out a lot. When you can kind of do an extra move in between your first and second move periodically, between every other set, which I think is very useful. And again, its third and most powerful move being a minute cooldown is, again, quite impressive itself. That being said, again, it does have some interesting effects for 2 of the moves. It stuns and inflicts some other debuff. Let me look at that real quick. It also inflicts dot damage for 10 seconds, which is only like 2,000 damage, I think, throughout that time. So it's not really much, but it's there. Baggermon was also very interesting. Did good damage, did fair damage. But I think also the thing in my mind that slows it down the most is that it takes 3 for Baggermon, 3 slots for Baggermon, in order for you to go Triple S Plus and use Baggermon. Not necessarily bad in terms of a Digimon. I think it's pretty good. Good HP, good defense. The attack's pretty fair as well. The cooldown for the third move is unfortunate that it's 1 minute and 10 seconds as opposed to like 60 for Zed, 40 for Beelzemon, and 55 for Galliumon, right? Shin, or the Awakened, whatever his form is. But I think overall it's pretty good. Oh, it was 18. There you go. Oh yeah, so it's a little bit higher than. Oh my god, I forgot who it was. Oh, Lucemon. There you go. But yeah, so again, I think the biggest downside, what I would consider a downside in my opinion, would be that Baggermon needs 3 slots. So hypothetically, for your Triple S virus, if you wanted Baggermon, you'd have 3 slots. And then if you wanted a vaccine, which most people probably have, like Susanomon, Omegamon X, or a variation of Omegamon, and Alphamon, that takes up 2 slots, so you're up to 5. Now your 6th one would be interesting because that would have to be a standalone Digimon almost. Data wise, like let's say you want to have one of each, right? Data wise, I'm trying to think of any. I think there's 2 in my mind that come up. A Triple S Plus that you can use that's 1 Digimon alone would be Garurumon Awakened to kind of fill in that slot if you want to have all 3 attributes with you at all time. And or what is this face? Gardemon's mode, but the awakened version, which is Triple Plus. It looks like a giant mech, basically, like a Gundam looking dude. Let me look up its name real quick. But I think that would Mega Gargomon Awakened. There you go. Or Sakuyamon's Renamon's awakened form as well. Now there are other Triple S ones. I think are the X versions if you're fortunate enough to have them. I'm trying to think. Let's see. Is Gankumon Data? Gankumon X is Data, which from what I've heard, I think he is one of the better Triple S. But again, if you have him, hey, good for you, buddy. I don't know if Craniomon's X is Data. Nope, Vaccine. Okay, and then the other guys are Virus Demon X, Barbamon X, Lilithmon X, Jasmine X. I'm curious about real quick. Let me look this up. It's Data. There you go. But yeah, if you don't have any of those X versions, you can probably get Mega Gargomon Awaken if you want a Data for 1 slot if you're using the Baggermon setup, and then you can also ride and or with a Metal Garurumon Awaken if that's the kind of setup you're going for. Which is, again, would in my opinion be like a downside in my opinion to Baggermon. It has 3, it requires 3 Digimon. You need Axemon, and then you need Skull Knightmon and Baggermon itself to go to the Triple S Plus version. Again, if you've been playing for a while, you probably have a fair amount of all these Digimons, or at least one good one from each category, like Vaccine, Data, and Virus. So, you know, for the virus ones, that's a tough one to recommend. I think for the virus, ooh, in my opinion, I think I would have to recommend. I might be wrong on this one, guys. This is just my opinion. I think I would recommend Zed Millennium. Lusamon's a good second. If not, they're kind of interchangeable in my mind. Like, they're both really good, I think. And I think Darkness Bagramon probably falls a little bit underneath both of these, just because it does take 3 Digimon slots as well. Its damage, like the petrification and the dot damage, is again not nothing. But I think Zed having 4 moves and its third move being 10 seconds a cooldown faster than Darkness Bagramon is a plus. Lusamon technically has the worst and slowest cooldown time from the 3 that I just mentioned. But yeah, I think that'd be my pick. I think I'd go Zed, Lusamon, Darkness. I know in my mind there's something about Zed Millennium being up there. Unfortunately, I also don't have the Ekros, the X-Cross up Mervamon, which is also a virus, a triple S plus that you can get from this event. And unfortunately, I don't have it, and I can't test it, and I don't have it. I really wish I could. But again, its damage on paper is actually really good. The third move is really impressive because it's 50-second cooldown, and it's 174,685 damage based on the wiki page. So that's pretty good. That's actually really good. It is very impressive. I myself am not sure what I'm going to get for my Triple S Gacha box. I'm kind of feeling, and I might mention this later, but I kind of want Digimon Awaken because it is unknown. I just have a fascination with unknown Digimon and unique ones. But if not, I think I would also be tempted to get Metal Garurumon Awaken. Or I don't want to get Omegamon X. I'm so close to getting them in the story for freeze, and I really don't want to waste a triple S on that because I already done most of the quest, and I really want to wrap it up. But another thing, in my opinion, guys, for your selection for the triple S, you can also take into consideration what attribute you kind of want, and or potential to go even higher. Take Omegamon X, Alphamon Uruken Awaken, Shoutmon, Susanomon Shin, Seed, Lusamon, and and I think Imperialdramon also Fighter Mode Awaken. All those guys I mentioned have potential U ranks. So again, if by any chance a miracle in the future, or you buy the tickets or whatever, you eventually get enough Terra to buy their item, those triple S plus guys have another level to go up and beyond. Whereas opposed to Darkness Bagramon, X-Rose Up Nervamon, Awaken Greymon, and Metal Garurumon Awaken don't have that U rank potential to go up a step further if you ever get, again, fortunate enough to get them. That's also maybe something you want to take into consideration, and based on the need you need for your game and what attribute you kind of want, or maybe you just like the Digimon, you just want to get them. I do that most of the time for my loot boxes. Trust me, that's what I do, or like the ticket summons. I just get Digimon I want to look at, try, and kind of see how they feel. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's my opinion. That's what I think. If you guys have any recommendations, suggestions on maybe a different test for damage, or maybe something I did wrong, let me know, guys. I would definitely like to do another test. I think fighting that guy up there, we call him Willis, was a pretty fair showing of how much damage they can do within 3 minutes, which is what I tested them on. And again, they weren't all perfectly even because some of them were Digi-cloned or Digi-reinforced, whatever you want to call it. But I think overall, I think it did show a good thing about timing, excuse me, how frequently you can use the moves, and overall the damage outputs. Hold on. No, excuse me. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. I'm gonna just pretty much wrap up my daily quest, get that out of the way, so I can be one step closer to getting my Triple S loot box. which where the heck are my coins at? It's somewhere there. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much it. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any recommendations, or you guys want to see maybe a data version of this, a vaccine version of it, I'll try to see what I can do for the vaccine version. If not, I can use my brother's Omegamon X. He does have one, so I can use him for testing. But he has 150, so again, it's skewed. Now for data, I will personally say I do have Examon X, and that is it. My brother also has Shin Fenglamon, right? I think, but he's only triple S. But again, I can do a different variation of tests and stuff like that. So I like to see what I can do with that. Oh, just another quick thing before I go. I will just mention this. Here we go. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was a few events back now when they removed the skills from us, which was pretty crappy to say the least. You were able to get boxes that have either you can pick these passive skills, and you can only have 2 active at any given time. There was random ones and selective ones. So right now I currently have, for vaccine, I have attack increased by 5% and HP by 10. I don't have them equipped. I have them. And then I have the same thing for virus. I had them for data, but however, for my test, they had to suffer the ultimate consequence. So you can equip them 2 at a time. Now, I was hoping they'd be interchangeable. Like, you know, oh, you know what? For this raid, I want to use my vaccine guys. Let me put my vaccine attribute, you know, passive skills up. Unfortunately, that's not the case. If you want to, quote unquote, change it, it's going to get deleted and you will no longer have access to it. It's really unfortunate. I wish it could have been swappable. I mean, for the most part, people will probably just have the vaccine ones because, one, that's kind of the meta type you need against most of the bosses because they're all either virus and or dark, or combination of both for the most part. So you ideally want to have your vaccine guys with the most health and damage output. So, vaccine rate, yeah. There's that. And then for the tamer skills, unfortunately, they also suffer from the same effect as these passive ones. I have the one where I can select a skill. Now, ideally, I would want probably Mimi's skill, which is this one, the prey one, or TK's, which used to be this one, which you'd have bound to your character before. And then when they changed that rule, they took out the skills, which really, really sucked. So now, you know, you can buy the skills at the shop for those coins that you get for like updates and stuff, and it's like 7 days. Again, depending on your playstyle, what you want to do, you know, if you just like to play and train by yourself, you can get this one, which, you know, TK skill just restores your HP and DS by 100% every 3 minutes, I think the cooldown is. And then Mimi skill, which restores your party's HP by 40%, not the DS, specifically HP. There's a few more of the skills you can pick from. Some of them, you know, hit rate, attack, crit, all that kind of stuff. But same thing. I opened the random boxes I had, and I had 2 skills. Well, 3. So I equipped, I think it was Joe's skill, which was for evasion, and then, you know, I wanted to swap it out and use this one. Again, same thing as the passive skills. Once you remove it, it gets destroyed. So whatever active skill you get from these boxes is the one and only you can have equipped. So, I mean, there's that. Alright, guys. Again, that's I think what really sucked. But with that being said, guys, that is about it for today. I also had planned, I really wanted to do Digimon Time Stranger with the DLC. There's a bunch of DLC I gotta do, the X ones, and then the what is it, Crescarumon and Blitzgravon, but I'll probably do that tomorrow. But thanks again, guys, for watching. Again, if you guys have any suggestions, recommendations on what I could have done differently, what I might have done wrong, or way to improve the test, or if you guys found it helpful, let me know. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for coming out and watching, and hope you guys have a good one. Bye.